What's up, guys? I'm the Pop Rocker. I know I basically don't exist on YouTube anymore, and as much as I'd like to say that this is me coming to change all that, it's not yet anyway. I'd love to come back and be doing music reviews and everything, but I am just way too busy in life right now. But if there is one thing I'm always going to deliver, it is a Royal Rumble booking, because it is just so darn fun to do. So without beating around the bush, let's just jump right in. Okay, so before we really get into it, a few things to go over. If you've watched these before, you know my rules. I try to avoid having tag teams in because anyone who is a champion going into it must relinquish their belt for entry. And I have to use anybody that has already been announced. But at this point, that's kind of a moot point anyway, so I'm not really going to get into that. A few things also are being booked differently for this pay-per-view because I would do things differently. Number one, Kevin Owens is not facing Roman Reigns. Sheamus is facing Roman Reigns because he kind of had a really nice year, and I feel like he at least deserves that match, even though we know he's not going to win. So can be next. Balor and Priest are fighting the Usos for the tag titles, so they're not in it. Riddle has been disqualified from entry because Reigns pulled some strings and reminded everybody that Riddle is not allowed to face him for the title anyway, so he can't do it. And the two most important things. Number one, Sami Zayn has been chosen personally by the Tribal Chief to enter the Royal Rumble and win it and go face the NXT champion and beat him and bring another belt to the Bloodline, and also not face Reigns at WrestleMania. Oh, but if you can win the Royal Rumble and go after an NXT champion, then why couldn't Riddle be in the Royal Rumble and do that? Because Roman Reigns is a giant hypocrite. And most importantly, to me personally, this whole business with Theory ever since the Money in the Bank cash-in, none of that happened. Theory did not get the United States title. Theory, let's say he didn't even cash in because that was stupid. Theory thinks that he can beat Roman Reigns. He knows he can beat Roman Reigns, and he still had his huge heel turn thingy and is like a big bad guy that thinks he has something to prove, which he's going to try to do by entering the Royal Rumble at number 1. Oh, and side note, as far as the United States title goes, that means Rollins is still the champion this whole time, and he's facing Ali at the pay-per-view, and Ali wins because Ali deserves it. So, starting off with the Rumble, Austin Theory enters at number 1. The Chosen One wants to prove himself to the WWE Universe and to himself by running the entire match and coming out as the winner. Number 2 is the previous Chosen One, Drew McIntyre, to put a stop to that. They get in the ring, they fight a little bit, they do whatever. Obviously, nobody gets eliminated yet. And at number 3, Jonathan Cena, the original WWE Chosen One. 3 generations of Chosen Ones in the ring at the same time. Theory comes up to John Cena, tries to, be respectful and shake his hand, like, oh, you're so inspiring. And then cheap shots him because he's a bad guy and he's standing up to John Cena. And the fighting takes off. Out at number 4 is Dolph Ziggler, the People's Chosen One, who, fun fact, was overshadowed by all 3 of these other men at different points in his career. Dolph Ziggler was the world champion that nobody cared about, while John Cena was at the top of the mountain. He played second fiddle to Drew when he returned to the main roster in WWE. And recently, we have seen him as the 5th man in this entire United States title fiasco. So, yay, Dolph. Nobody gets eliminated yet. It's not super exciting. Kofi comes out because I have to put Kofi in. Nobody gets eliminated still. DOMINIK Mysterio is out next, and Rhea Ripley is by his side, of course. Now, there's already 5 other people in the ring, and he is very nervous to get in, but he doesn't want to look like a coward in front of mommy, so he tries to play it cool as the guy who's smart and is like, I'm going to take my time, when he very clearly is just scared to fight anybody. So he spends basically his entire 90 seconds outside of the ring doing whatever until number 8, Bronson Reed, comes out. Bronson Reed is coming down the ramp like a wrecking ball, and DOMINIK is very scared, so he finally gets in the ring. So Bronson Reed follows very quickly. He gets in the ring, and everyone takes a moment to kind of back up and give him some room because he is a force of destruction and he is going to kill everyone. And while everyone is focused on that, Austin Theory eliminates John Cena. He's the first one out. Doesn't that just make everyone mad? Don't you just hate Austin Theory for doing that? So everyone starts fighting again. They're doing stuff, and Kofi gets eliminated kind of quietly. He doesn't have a big spot because, you know what? I think it's time to retire Kofi doing the big spots. He's kind of done everything there is to do, and I think it's time that we gracefully let go of that and move on as wrestling fans, sad as it may be. And who is out next to replace Kofi? Obviously, Jinder Mahal. Bronson Reed gets his hands on Dolph Ziggler and does his Bronson Reed stuff and absolutely destroys him because that's what Dolph Ziggler is here for. And following all that, at number 9, the Rumble return we all know is coming. The Rumble return we all have been waiting for. Rick Boogs is back in the WWE. He has a guitar. He gets in the ring. Nobody is eliminated. Following him at number 10, Elias. Elias does his whole thing on the ramp that he actually hasn't really been doing much recently, but I'm letting him do it here because it's the Rumble and it's a big deal. He plays his whole little song, and he walks to the ring. He plays his whole little song. It takes like a bunch of time to do it, and then he gets in the ring. So Elias gets in the ring. He gets in the middle, and who does he find? Rick Boogs. And they do the Spider-Man point off because they're both long-haired rock stars, and they're doing that. And while they're doing that, the next entrant comes in, R-Truth, dressed like another long-haired rock star who also gets in the ring, and Spider-Man points at both of them. Because R-Truth being R-Truth is always funny. Elias and Rick Boogs are both like really confused as to what's going on with R-Truth, and so R-Truth moves in the middle of them and starts air guitaring like 3MB and like tries to get them both to do it. And then they both give in. Might as well. And they all do the 3MB air guitar stuff at the camera, and it's hilarious. And who comes up behind them? Drew McIntyre and Jinder Mahal. And Drew and Jinder are both looking very annoyed at the three of them for doing a whole 3MB reference while Drew and Jinder are just trying to be taken seriously as wrestlers. But then they figure, what the heck? It's the Royal Rumble. And they join in doing the 3MB air guitars. And yes, I used 4 of my picks for a large comedy segment, and it is funny, and it is entertaining, and it's the Royal Rumble. Then Drew and Jinder snap to their senses, and they both grab one of Elias and or Rick Boogs from either side and throw them over the ropes because they're trying to be taken seriously. That leaves them both with R-Truth in the middle, who's still being R-Truth. He does the whole like, oh, you guys, what are you going to do? And then Jinder turns on Drew, and everybody starts fighting. Comedy segment over. Hope you enjoyed it. At this point, we are more than a third of the way through the entrance. I'd like to remind everyone that Austin Theory is still out here. He's putting up a fight. He's, holding his own in the Rumble. He's kind of starting to make people believe a little bit. Meanwhile, DOMINIK Mysterio is also out here being a complete coward, hiding in the corner, and Rhea Ripley has saved him more than once. More importantly, though, she's really encouraging him. She's giving him all of the moral support she can. Come on, Dom. Just stay in there. Just stay in the fight. You've got this. Just, keep fighting. Don't let them get the best of you. And here comes Daddy Mysterio, Rey Mysterio. Rey gets in. Him and DOMINIK come face to face. It looks like he's going to fight him. But we all know that Rey doesn't want to hit his son for some reason in wrestling, even though they're wrestlers. So he starts doing something else. Also, at some point during everything that I've said, R-Truth eliminates Jinder Mahal because as funny and entertaining as R-Truth is as a comedy guy, I think that he should get a little bit of a showing too and actually have a decent elimination. Okay, so at this point, Bronson Reed gets his hands on DOMINIK. Not that he was like specifically going after him the whole time, but he gets him. He breaks him in half. He's like gonna eliminate him. But the whole group kind of teams up on Bronson Reed, and they're like trying to push him over the ropes. The whole everybody gang up on the big guy thing. That's what's happening. And they're all trying. Bronson Reed's a big monster. They can't do it. And then out comes Braun Strowman, who rushes the ring and eliminates Bronson Reed. Trade one big man for another big man. And WWE has a number of big men right now. So then more stuff happens, Rumble things. Drew knocks DOMINIK over the ropes and almost eliminates him, but DOMINIK is able to hold on with the help of Rhea Ripley, who is like screaming at him now. Dom, just hold on. Just keep holding on. Just a little bit longer. You can do this. She's looking up at the screen, trying to like look for the time. Dom, it's okay. You've got this. And then number 14, Rhea Ripley. Ripley gets in the ring as an official Rumble entrant and protects her man Dominik by eliminating Drew McIntyre. Suck it, liberals. So at this point, Ripley starts helping Dominik by literally standing in the corner in front of him and protecting him while he hides and cowers and refuses to fight anyone. Ricochet comes out. The Miz comes out after him. There's still no eliminations. Ripley can't stay and protect Dominik forever, though, because she is a fighter at heart and gets involved in her own spats. So Dominik finds himself kind of in the corner alone while she's off to the side a little bit doing something else. And Rey Mysterio is next to him fighting one of the people that I just said, The Miz. They're fighting. Dominik starts, yelling at his dad, berating him, mocking him, being overall Dominik Mysterio to his dad. The whole, come on, come hit me, come eliminate me from the Rumble, I dare you. He kind of gets up and starts doing it more. I don't know why he thinks that he can do this when he's been such a little bitch about everything else. But Rey Mysterio finally snaps on his stupid, arrogant son and hits him in the face. And then they fight. And then they fight some more. And then they fight some more. And then Rey knocks Dominik in position for the 619. He runs, bounces off the ropes to do it, and Rhea Ripley gets in the way and clotheslines him, and then picks up Rey Mysterio and throws him over the ropes. I'm pretty sure she could pick Rey up. She probably can. Let's just say she can. Either way, Rhea Ripley has 2 eliminations in the Royal Rumble. Suck it, liberals. And then right before the next entrant out, just for good measure, Theory eliminates R-Truth. What a villain. Next out is Santos Escobar, who is there, followed at number 18 by the man officially known as Adrenaline in My Soul something something Cody Rhodes, who was not announced beforehand and is a complete surprise to everybody. Don't you love the Royal Rumble? As he gets in the ring, Theory is caught up in a big fight with Strowman where they're kind of going back and forth, and Cody, in a big show of strength, eliminates Braun Strowman right off the bat. Cody Rhodes is back. He kind of pats Theory on the back, gives him a little smile. Nice job, kid. We did it. And Theory responds by sucker punching him in the face like an absolute monster. So now, while Strowman's going to the back, someone eliminates Ricochet, but Strowman catches him and saves him, and they do a little spot where Ricochet gets on his shoulders and then flips into the ring, bringing that whole I don't like flippy wrestlers controversy full circle. And I think it's time that we gracefully let go of that and move on as wrestling fans. Everyone keep in mind at this time that Dominik is still being a little coward in the corner, doing nothing, being protected by Rhea Ripley, who is in the Royal Rumble. Next out is Johnny Gargano, who immediately starts taunting The Miz in that kind of like annoying way that he's been doing for a little bit. But The Miz is completely unfazed at all by anything Gargano is saying. Like, he kind of knows something that Gargano doesn't. And right when this starts to click for Johnny Wrestling, he starts to see like, oh, Miz has something up his sleeve. Out comes Tommaso Ciampa. Not as an official entrant, because he is not cleared to wrestle yet. But he has returned as Miz's little sidekick. And he gets in the ring and stands next to Miz, staring down Gargano. And then he turns on The Miz and eliminates him because, obviously. Gargano genuinely did not know any of this was going to happen. He's very shocked that all of this has transpired in front of him as soon as he stepped into the ring. And Ciampa hugs Gargano, and they embrace, and DIY is reunited. And even though Ciampa can't wrestle right now, when he does, the tag team is going to be back. Fantasy booking. And as we have made it to entrant number 20 in the Royal Rumble, the lights go out, and Bray Wyatt walks through the weird ethereal door on the stage. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention earlier too, the whole pitch black match with LA Knight isn't happening, even though I kind of think that's going to be pretty good. Wyatt's in the Rumble instead. So Wyatt eventually makes it into the ring. His entrance takes way more than 90 seconds alone, but this is the Rumble and time is a construct, so it doesn't really matter. And as he gets in the ring in the darkness and the spotlight is on him, we kind of see in the background, it looks like Theory eliminates Dominik Mysterio. As the lights come on, Dominik has just made his way back into the ring and denies ever getting eliminated, and nobody saw it, except for like half of the referees. So that starts a big old feud. Some of the refs come out and they say, we didn't see him get eliminated. His feet didn't touch the floor. They're pointing because they can't like talk. They have to point wildly. And the other ones are like, feet hit floor. And while this is all going on for a while, causing a whole disruption in the entire thing right in the middle of Bray Wyatt, rude, out comes the next guy, Edge. Edge makes what is probably his 8th major return to WWE in the past 3 years and his 3rd return at the Rumble out of 4. But he's Edge. What are you going to do? Gets in the ring and throws Dominik Mysterio into the pile of referees outside. Problem solved. While he's looking down at Dominik Mysterio after eliminating him, making a whole Edge face, his eyes bulging out of his head and everything, Rhea Ripley sneaks up behind him, but he turns around and catches her. He backs her up against the ropes on the opposite side of wherever they are and says something like, this one's for Beth, or I'm the rated R superstar. And he eliminates Rhea Ripley and throws his entire feud with the Judgment Day over the ropes with her, never to be seen again. But then, oh no! Austin Theory comes and out-opportunists the Ultimate Opportunist and eliminates Edge. This guy doesn't let us have any fun. And also, all of that ends up overshadowing the whole visual of Bray Wyatt being apprehensive, not really wanting to wrestle. He's still kind of scared to get back. He's really timid. So he backs off and doesn't really do anything to anyone ever. Out next is Bobby Lashley, who joins the fight viciously, but there's still no eliminations. And then comes our golden boy, Sami Zayn, flanked by everyone in the bloodline except the tribal chief, because he's got better things to do, obviously. They send Sami inside the ring. You know, Sami's looking a little Sami about everything, as he always does. And then the bloodline surrounds the ring. They beat down Ciampa, who's still there, because nobody gets help at ringside unless they're part of the bloodline. Following this comes Baron Corbin and then Dexter Loomis. You know what? Let me make some room for the names. Baron Corbin and Dexter Loomis come out next. There are still no eliminations, but there is a lot of Sami getting help from the bloodline. The field is now Sami Zayn, Austin Theory, Bray Wyatt, Johnny Gargano, Cody Rhodes, Bobby Lashley, Santos Escobar, yeah, he's still there, Ricochet, Dexter Loomis, and Baron Corbin. Yes, the ring is very full. You know what's coming next. So up to this point, Bray Wyatt has kind of avoided any confrontation with anybody. He hasn't hit anyone. He hasn't yelled at anyone. He's kind of been off in his own head doing his own thing, getting out of everyone's way, because he knows that he's got that ring rust. He knows that, you know, he's very apprehensive to fight, being the kind of timid good guy that he is now. And also, he's kind of scared of letting out that whole monster that everyone has been talking about the entire time that he's been back. This all changes when bully Baron Corbin gets in his face. He yells at him, he calls him names, he acts like a big guy, he stands up to him, and then slaps Wyatt in the face. And this gives Wyatt his strength to finally stand up and slap Baron Corbin in the face back. This kind of like ignites that wrestling spark in him, and he's like, oh, I like fighting. And he hits him again. And he hits him again and again and starts backing him up more and more. And the crowd's getting behind him. And then he finds it in him to start hitting a couple wrestling moves. He does a few things, hits Baron Corbin with a Sister Abigail, and eliminates him. Not with the Sister Abigail. He doesn't, like, launch him over the ropes. That'd be completely absurd. But he hits him, he eliminates him, and he gets up very excited. He's like a child. Oh my gosh, I'm a wrestler. People love me. The crowd's going wild because it's Bray Wyatt and he's wrestling. He keeps the momentum going. He goes after Santos Escobar, hits him with a few things, hits him with a Sister Abigail, eliminates him. At this point, he gets a little manic and he's a little crazy and he's a little too into it. And he goes after Johnny Gargano and hits him with a hard clothesline to the back, eliminating him as well. Not a good guy. The momentum keeps going. Wyatt's a little bit crazed at this point, and out comes Uncle Howdy on the stage. Wyatt has unleashed a little bit of that monster, and he has summoned Uncle Howdy. Uncle Howdy isn't an entrant either. He's not going to compete in the Rumble with the weird rubber mask and everything. He's just there to laugh at Bray Wyatt for because he's evil inside or whatever, like he says. But is he? It's the whole, oh no. Now, unlike normally, Wyatt's getting a little hysterical about this. You know, he's running off the adrenaline of fighting for the first time in an actual match and getting 3 Rumble eliminations in a row. So he's like screaming at Uncle Howdy, like, no, leave me alone. Why are you doing this? Things, generic things, you know. Just getting the courage to fight back. And out of nowhere, Austin Theory sees his opportunity and eliminates Bray Wyatt. Just when the story was getting good. Wyatt's on the ground. He's a little shaken up. Still hasn't quite processed what's happened because he's like almost a little bit lost in his mind. And as he starts to recover a little bit, he sees at the top of the ramp, Uncle Howdy has brought another figure out. Now, I don't want to try to book Wyatt's story too much because he's probably better at it than I am and probably would do a better job. But I want to introduce that there's other people here. Uncle Howdy has a henchman. Maybe it's a large man in a green jumpsuit with a sheep mask and a red beard. Maybe it's someone who looks a lot like Bray Wyatt's brother. I don't know. But the point is, somebody is there. Uncle Howdy points at Bray Wyatt, and the henchman slowly comes up and grabs Bray Wyatt and drags him to the back while he screams in absolute hysteria. All right, I think I'm good to just... That's better. Omos comes out with MVP and Cedric and Shelton, the whole thing. As they start walking down towards the ring, the members of the Bloodline come and meet them. They have that face-to-face that everybody has wanted. But then Omos kind of growls at them all like he's going to beat everybody up himself. And he climbs and gets in the ring. And the Bloodline backs off like a pack of dogs that's kind of lost some of their territory. They back off and they go to the other side. Not necessarily because they're too scared to fight the Hurt Business, but more so because they know that they have like a bigger mission at stake. They need to help Sami. And getting in a fight with the Hurt Business right now isn't going to help that. Maybe we'll see them fight down the line. Behind him, Montez Ford comes out. He gets a few moves in, so he gets to look good, but like only just a little bit. And then after a little bit of fighting, we have a moment where Bobby Lashley is getting teamed up by 3 or 4 guys. You know that thing in the Rumble where like everyone gets together and they try to get rid of the big man? That's happening. So they're all kind of putting some work in to get Bobby Lashley eliminated, and it looks like they're going to, but MVP sees this and tells Omos to go help him. And he does. Omos goes over. He grabs everybody one by one like the big monster heel that we want to make him look like and starts eliminating them one by one. Ricochet, Montez Ford, Dexter Lumis, Austin Theory. But Theory grabs onto the ropes and doesn't go away because he's a fighter. Lashley's surprised by all this. He kind of catches his breath, catches up a moment because he was almost eliminated. He looks down at MVP, who's saying, hey, we good? We good? Kind of like, you wanna come join the Hurt Business now? And Bobby Lashley kind of gives him a look, and then he turns around and eliminates Omos himself. As Omos lands at the feet of MVP, Lashley says, now we're good. MVP's very angry that this has happened. Omos was supposed to be like his ticket, his big guy, but he kind of understands that Lashley owed him this and they're even, and then the Hurt Business is going to get back together, but I can't book the rest of that. So they're making their way to the back. The Bloodline starts spreading out again, and out comes Kevin Owens. So the Bloodline has obviously had a lot of issues with Kevin Owens. Most of the stuff that has happened in WWE has still happened just because Kevin Owens doesn't have this match against Reigns right now. So they are completely fed up with him, and they all jump him on the ramp and beat him down hard. Like, take him out of the match hard. When Carmelo Hayes debuts from NXT as the next entrant, they're still beating him down on the ramp. Carmelo gets in the ring with everyone else. They're all fighting a little bit. I'll remind you, Austin Theory entered the match at number 1 and has made it all the way to entrant number 30, Logan Paul. Yes, it is. I'm doing it. Hits the ring fast and immediately hits a He hits the ring fast and immediately hits a frog splash on someone who happened to be knocked down in the middle just in time for him to do it. Probably Sami Zayn. Everyone is in the ring now. We're down to Austin Theory, Cody Rhodes, Sami Zayn, Bobby Lashley, Carmelo Hayes, and Logan Paul. The end game has begun. They have a good 3 to 4 minutes of fighting with nothing happening so that everyone really gets some time to shine before Cody Rhodes eliminates Carmelo Hayes. And then like a hawk, Austin Theory comes up behind Cody Rhodes, but he is stopped when Logan Paul catches him first and eliminates Austin Theory, dashing his dreams of proving us all wrong. I bet you like Logan Paul now. So at this point, we have the final 4 men in the ring. Cody Rhodes, Sami Zayn, Bobby Lashley, and Logan Paul. Yes, it is. At this point, the Bloodline have stopped beating down on Kevin Owens, obviously, and they've formed their circle back around the ring enough that they can save Sami Zayn when he's almost eliminated by Logan Paul. Logan throws Sami over the ropes. He thinks he's going to get him, but Solo Sikoa jumps up, hits Logan Paul with the Samoan spike right in the temple, and they eliminate Logan Paul instead. And I'm really mad that you're probably happy that happened. So then Sami and Cody kind of end up working together to try to get So then Sami and Cody find themselves as like a little unlikely pairing against Bobby Lashley because he's got the size advantage on both of them. Cody ends up getting Bobby Lashley set up in the corner where Sami Zayn comes behind him with the haluva kick. Bobby Lashley is eliminated, and we're down to the final 2 that we always deserved, Cody Rhodes and Sami Zayn. Now, obviously, they have to have the last moment everyone has where the final 2 stand in the ring and stare each other down. The tensions are always high right here, but they maybe have never been higher than at this moment because it's Sami Zayn and Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is the first one to make a move. He's holding his ribs. He's hurting, but he offers a hand out to Sami like the good sport that he is. And Sami's a little bit conflicted. Sami's part of the Bloodline. They're not supposed to be good sports. Sami should punch Cody Rhodes in the face right now. But deep down, he's still ultimate babyface Sami Zayn, so the 2 men shake hands. May the best man win. So they have a back and forth, fight a little bit, keep everyone guessing what's going to happen. But Cody Rhodes is hurting a little bit. You know, he was holding his ribs. He's coming back from this injury. He might not be at 100%. He's been in here since entrant number 18. And Sami Zayn is able to get a little bit of the upper hand on him. Hits him with a few things he's not expecting and gets him in the corner for the haluva kick. And right when he's about to run over and do it, the Bloodline runs up and pulls Cody Rhodes over the ropes. Okay, look, let's stop the story for a moment. In real life, where WWE stands right now, Cody Rhodes should absolutely be the person to win the Rumble. We all love Sami. We all love the story he's got going on. And at the end of the day, we really want to see him get his moment against the Bloodline. But Cody Rhodes earned that WWE title with that promo he cut after returning last year, and he deserves to be the one at Mania defeating Roman Reigns for it. But that's no fun. If I'm doing my fantasy booking, I don't want to go with the obvious easy answer. I want to end with something with a little more flair than American Apple Pie Boy goes to WrestleMania. I want to have my cake and eat it too, so I'm going to. Cody Rhodes is pulled over the top ropes and eliminated. Now, Sami Zayn reacts to this kind of in the same way he did with that match against Kevin Owens a few weeks ago, where he's just in shock that the Bloodline doesn't seem to trust him, doesn't seem to let him get the job done, even when he's in a perfect position to do it. He feels like he's being used as a pawn to help further the Bloodline's agenda rather than an actual equal member of the family. He doesn't really know how to react to what just happened in the Rumble. And then Roman Reigns comes out to the ring. And also, the bell hasn't rung yet. Roman Reigns is walking down the ramp to come greet Sami, and he grabs Kevin Owens and drags him to the ring with him. He gets both of them in the ring, comes and stands Kevin Owens up in the middle next to Sami Zayn and says, eliminate him. Now, Sami Zayn is a little perplexed by all this. Obviously, Kevin Owens is not really a contender anymore. It's so easy to eliminate him. The match should really be over by now. But Roman Reigns says, punch him in the face, take him to the ropes, eliminate him. And Sami Zayn's a little unhappy about this. He sees this as a power move. Like, obviously, he doesn't need to be doing this to Kevin Owens right now. But Roman Reigns wants to see it happen. He wants to see Sami Zayn take his old best friend, who's basically been beaten to death, and kick him while he's down. Sami Zayn, distraught, a little heartbroken, a little angry at Reigns and the Bloodline for what's happening, takes Kevin Owens, throws him over the ropes, and eliminates him. The bell rings. Sami Zayn wins the Royal Rumble. Roman obviously is very entertained by this. He's pushed the good guy to do the bad thing once again. He's laughing over the side of Kevin Owens. He tells the Bloodline to keep beating up on him. And even though Kevin Owens might be medically dead at this point, they still pick him up, hit him with super kicks. They hit him with a Samoan spike. All of this. Roman Reigns is just having the time of his life, leaning over the ropes. He turns around to Sami Zayn, who is puffing his chest and standing in defiance of Reigns. Now, this only lasts for half a second or so. It's almost an instinct that Sami Zayn has, and he quickly realizes what he's doing. He drops his shoulders. He has regret on his face, but that little half second of time is all it takes for the cracks to finally start forming between these two, leading to Sami Zayn defeating Roman Reigns at WrestleMania for the titles. It's a big feel-good moment. Sami Zayn is on top of the world. He finally has gotten the respect he's deserved in WWE. He defeated the demons that are the Bloodline. And then the next night on Raw, Cody Rhodes comes out and challenges Sami Zayn one-on-one for just the WWE Championship, which Cody Rhodes then goes on to win. Sami Zayn gets his moment. Cody Rhodes gets his WWE title. The fans get to split the world championships that they've been dying to do, and The Rock is nowhere to be seen. So that is my 2023 Fantasy Royal Rumble booking. Did you like it? Did you hate it? What would you do differently? Let me know down in the comments. Hopefully this is not goodbye for a year. I'd love to be able to put out some more content. I've been dying to. Maybe around award season I'll be able to pump something out. Maybe I won't be back until the 2024 Royal Rumble booking. Either way, I've been the Pop Rocker, and I'll see you guys in the next video.